maybe they're the same thing, you know, sort of a little bit of the same thing. But no, he took people that worked for me, and I told him don't do it anymore, and he did it. And I said, stay the hell out of here.
What did they do? Go ahead.
So is that what was meant by being?
Who are you with?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the travel pool, but I'm with NBC News.
NBC fake news. Okay. NBC's one of the worst. What else do you have?
I was at Air Force One, the new Air Force One. When do you expect to be flying on the new Air Force One?
I think by, they say February maybe?
February.
Much sooner than the others. The others are being built. Long time build. That's a long time build. Now, they're not normal 747s. They, you know, have a lot of things on them that another.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. I had so much stuff that I didn't get a chance to talk about doing the rundown. I said I got to finish this up. So what's going on, everybody? Thank you. If you could come in and like the video. We might be going for about an hour. I have a good little backlog of things that I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to discuss today on the earlier episode because I had work to do. So let's talk about this though, because this has happened since I've come back from work. And if you didn't grab that, don't worry. If you didn't hear exactly,
The plane wouldn't happen. But we'll get this one a year and a half, 2 years earlier. I don't know. That's up to the military.
An NBC reporter asked him about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Asked him again, and he said one of the reasons why he kicked him out of the club was because he was poaching his employees or poaching girls from his, and that's the new information that we've got on the Jeffrey Epstein or Trump Epstein cover-up, right? So this is the real reason, right? Not because he was a convicted, this is what people are saying, right? Not because he was a convicted PDF file, but because Epstein was poaching Trump's young girls from his spa, right? Now this may be a little bit clearer. I think the audio.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously.
Yeah.
Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Some of them.
Were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that
Right.
were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young
Yeah.
women?
What did they do?
In the spa.
In the spa?
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah, he stole her.
All right, so yeah, and Untold Legend, what's going on? Steve Hill, what's going on? Pro What, what's happening? Father F, what's happening? Right, Pink, what's happening? Matt Weeks, hello. Yes, and so obviously most of this information is already out there. But when I say new, I mean this is what people are focusing in on today, right? When I say new, that's what I mean, right? Because we haven't gotten any new information. That's the whole point. That's why we're still talking about this, because we haven't gotten any new information. All right, what's happening? Corey Woodrow, yes, and Brian Ferraioli. Okay, there you go. All right, so, but we're still looking for new information. We want the cover up. We want it exposed. We want everybody who's implicated and guilty to be held accountable. Okay, so I don't even know what that means. Yes. Yeah, he said we got to let this go. Right. Yeah. I don't even know what Matt Weeks is talking about. Y'all, anybody understand what he's talking about? That question he asked me, I don't understand slang. So anybody that comes in here knows me. I was like, what does that even mean? Yeah. So we just have to keep asking questions and making sure that we hold their feet to the fire to make sure that this. So at this point, I think all of this is connected. The Macron, French, Epstein, Zionist, all of this stuff is, you know, the elites in the UK. I think all of these people are connected, and they've been running this network for years, and that's why we won't actually see this information anytime soon. I think my kids might see it when everybody's forgotten about it. But we want there to be a consistent drumbeat that we want this information. We want this information. We want this information. We want this information. We want justice. Something has to happen. Right? Whether it's whatever thread needs to be unraveled, whether it's Brigitte Macron, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Prince Andrew, whoever it is, we need to see someone go down for this. Right? Now, we played the initial video. Right, but it was kind of hard to hear. So, yeah, so many things. Whether, it doesn't matter to me who goes down. I really don't care. I just want the guilty parties, all of them, to go down. That's it. I have no favorite in this race. I have no horse in this race. I have no dog in this fight, except justice and truth. I'd like to see those things. I like truth and justice to reign and rule in our nation. That would be amazing. It would be amazing. Okay, so that's the new information, right? That everybody's talking about. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. So, and I'm not gonna play Virginia's, testimony, because we've already seen this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess we should get over kids being raped, huh? I guess we should just get over it, right? Nothing to see here, right? Magic, just make it go away. That's what we should do, right? I mean, I guess we've gotten used to this. Let me just show you. Let me see. Where's this? I'm gonna do this on the fly, right? Do this on the fly real quick, y'all. Let's see. Hold on one second. We should be used to this by now, apparently, that we don't get truth, right? We don't get any type of let's see. I'm gonna bring this. Why is the keyboard not working? Stop doing that. Okay. Yeah, we don't get any justice, right? We should just be used to that now, because of how long it's been since we've gotten it, right? This is what our government has been doing for years and years and years, right? So we should just be used to it by now. Where is it? Here it is, right there. I've been wanting to put this in here, so I'm gonna put it in here right now. This is our government, right, with criminals and the elites. That's it right there. Okay, and so we should just be used to that now, right? That's essentially what we should be used to. Like, just let the PDF files go, let the immigrants go, let everybody go. Everybody just pass on through, right? Pass on through. No, that's not an acceptable way. You can't keep a country. Was it Dan Bongino said it? We can't run a republic this way. We can't. We can't do it. If you want a republic to fall, go for it. Keep this up. Now, But this is coming from the same people who seem to not have a problem. We talked about this earlier too with this gentleman, right? And his ability to, have a surrogate situation where he gets to adopt a child, being a tier 1 offender, right? And there's so much more information that's been coming out about him and his actual 2016 conviction. And then his partner is a school teacher, right? I mean, all of this information, right? And this is what he was doing with a student. So, but this guy should be able to adopt, right? That's the laws in Pennsylvania made it so that this registered offender can have a minor child in he's not supposed to be around minors, right? But he can apply for surrogacy and be given a child. Nice loophole there, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is redundant. Minor child, forgive me. It is late and I am sleepy. I get it. It is redundant. I have no problem admitting that. Thank you. So, yes. Yes, but this is, yeah, they got a baby, right? Yes, that's 2 guys. Yeah. This is what they're doing, right? They're doing the month-to-month thing. I talked about this earlier today where they're doing the same thing that you see a lot of heterosexual couples do, right? Parenting is all about moments that you can share on X or Facebook or TikTok, right? This is good parenting, blowing out candles and giving the little boy a kiss every month. Forget the fact that you're going to irreparably damage him because of this abominable relationship that you're in, that he gets to witness daily. And then don't mention the link between PDF files and this lifestyle because no, right? Okay. Or because we had people in the comments earlier today, right? Earlier today saying that this was okay. Right? That's it. This guy is a tier 1 offender. Right? All right. 2016. When we looked at this, right? This is not okay. Absolutely not okay. Right? But they're so adamant that Trump is a PDF file and they're willing to call him one, but they won't say anything about this. The same leftists won't say anything about this. They're not saying anything about this. Right? You don't see them up in arms every time, right, they get an opportunity. It's absolutely sick. Now, there were some things that I didn't get a chance to discuss, and I had it in the thumbnail, and I'm going to discuss it today. All right? So here we go. So we had this right. All right. Yes. Yes. All right. He said this is okay. Wow. He said this is okay. Ooh, wee. Wow. There you go. Well, right. This is you should that's why you should never allow a leftist to to give you any moral advice. Now, let's listen in. We're talking about the lady chiefs from Cincinnati with that situation. Let's listen to her scold people, right? The librarian cosplaying as a police chief. Here we go.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event. What that does, that causes us some difficulties in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law. Because what happens, that social media post and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened. And it makes our job more difficult.
All right. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate you. If you could like the video on the way in, I'm going to highlight something like this is Cody Neko, right? So Cody Neko, I actually mentioned that earlier today on the initial episode where we discussed that PDF file adopting the child. I said there's a problem when people think that that's good parenting. It's not. Whether it's like they're just following the model of most heterosexual parents, and I think most heterosexual parents are all about optics instead of doing the grimy work that it takes to actually raise children who have virtue, right? So, yeah, I called them out earlier. I'll call them out again. It is what it is. All right. But I know you weren't here before, so I just wanted to say that. All right. Now, so this is becoming an epidemic. Now, if you are aware, this is a this is a pattern we're seeing across the nation of these female heads of police forces, right? Here, close to where I live, this is Ann Kirkpatrick, who ran over somebody with her car and then also didn't realize that during that terrorist attack on New Year's Eve here in the city, that they already had the mechanisms to stop that by barricading the street, which was a common practice, from what I understand, prior to her taking office. Now, I don't understand why she wouldn't have called this hey guys, it's New Year's Eve. We should probably put the barricades up that we put up almost every year. And in all the major cities of Ohio, there are female police chiefs. Why are there so many female police chiefs now? And it seems that we're just okay with it. That's why a female NBA coach is coming. That's why you have the likes of Megyn Kelly saying that we would lose out on the ability to have a Megyn Kelly if trad wives become, and I'm paraphrasing, trad wives become the trend, and you tell beautiful, smart, talented, ambitious conservative women to marry and have kids. Yeah, we need our children to be intelligent. So why wouldn't we want our intelligent? Yes, I do answer super chats. Yeah, I haven't gotten any. Yes, but not yet anyway. But I do answer super chats. Super chats are, I will always stop the show and they will show up on the screen. They show up automatically. But why are we continuing to deal with this lie that the only good women are women who try to compete with men? try to do everything that men do. Right? And it's a poor substitute. The WNBA should be a clear indication. Flaugier said it. She's like, nah, I can't beat any of these NBA players. Physically, they've been given gifts that I can't compete with. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I have not. What is that? Yeah, you don't have to leave a super chat to answer this question, but type it in the chat and I'll bring it back up. I have never heard of that. But if you type it in the chat and it's PG enough, yeah. But I have not heard of that. And so we just have to turn off our we have to turn off our eyes and be blind to the fact that these lady chiefs are at the head of a lot of really bad stuff going on in the world. Now, correlation and causation may not be. It may not be, right? But it's not a good look, and they don't inspire confidence. Right? That's the problem. They don't inspire. When you see her come up to the podium after an event, like Ann Kirkpatrick looks like she needs to be somewhere just kind of sitting down, enjoying tea with her friends that are of the same age, not running an entire police department. That's not what when you see her, you don't think. And then she was run out of Oakland for incompetence. But then we hire her here. Right? They really are. This is, and we're having to, again, say, okay, well, women can lead men just as well, or women can lead just as well as men. That's not, especially for those men who are Christians. We're not called to believe that lie. We're actually called to push against that lie. Because God made Adam, then Eve. Oh, she is a train wreck. Ooh, right. She said, Kevin said, a book reading club, not police departments. I know. Yes. 19 Frankie. Yes. Right. Right. I mean, it's clear even in, I will. Okay. I'll look it up. Will do. And you didn't have to put that in as a super chat, but I thank you for that. Yeah. I thank you for, yeah. I'll look it up. Yeah. And I'll do some, will do. Yeah. And so we just have to sit back and people will say, oh, well, you need to be compassionate. That's how this is what happens, right? This is how so much stuff gets through the men in the church, right? Compassion, right? This is, bring it in, compassion, right? Oh, bring it in, compassion, right? You can let anything in. You just go ahead on and just let it all in. Compassion. The compassionate policies are ruining men, ruining families. And if men won't lead, guess what? Women will fill the vacuum, but it will be done at a deficit because men and women are different. We have different strengths on the whole. Now, I'm not saying that there's not an outlier situation where certain women can do certain things that men can do. Oh, yeah, that's right. So was it Caitlin Clark is a better basketball player than I am? Okay. I'm in my 40s. My athleticism is waning. But I'm pretty sure had we tangled up at the same age, right? I'm almost 50. If we had tangled at the same age, I'm shutting her down. Physically. Quicker, faster, stronger, more athletic. Right? Yes, I would have shut her down. Just because my thing was defense. Yeah. But if we were both in our early 20s, ain't no way. Now, but that's because physically speaking, men of the same age, same height, because she and I are the same height, of the same height and weight, I'm going to be stronger, faster, more athletic than she is. And so why do we have to shut our brains off to believe the feminist lie? And it's very acute in the black community. Why? Because we, for the most part, have been raised to believe in the matriarchy and that like women rule over us. It's like, oh goodness. Yeah. Right. And so, wow. But this is what it is, right? This is what it is. There you go, guys. Go get your insults off. I know it makes you all feel better. I know it makes you feel better. Okay. But then the vice mayor steps in and she's no better. Right? She's no better. She doesn't want to name the actual assailants and their ethnicity.
But the conversation turns to this one incident, adults fighting at 3 a.m. This is not who we are. But the
adults fighting at 3 a.m. Like that was a beat down, and the mob jumping people who were defenseless, right? So once you're on the ground with your head covered and they're just stomping you with their feet, yeah, they're no longer a threat to you. And that's when it's devolved into, this is no longer a fight. Now you're just completely assaulting this person. And then you're fighting, men are fighting women. And it's just, this was an ugly look for these people, because the lawlessness that has been rampant in their community, because this isn't an isolated incident. They're having to enact curfews because of the youth in their city. So your city is already well known for violence, racially motivated attacks, right? And major cities are starting to see this happen more and more often. Just for the crime, people are being attacked and assaulted merely for being white. And at some point, you got to start asking yourself a question. The best thing, right? Thank you to everybody that's liking and subscribing. Appreciate you all. The best thing to happen from this, without wholesale repentance, would just be segregation, where those people are building a town and they're saying, okay, we want to associate with people who are like us, and we don't want to live in a town where we have to have our head on a swivel whenever we see someone black, because they may, right? They may decide that today I want to check a white person. I want to knock a white person out. Maybe that's what they're thinking that day, right? And so at some point you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what are we going to do? Because if this is happening, I'm going to show you this clip. Look at this. What do you do in this situation? And I'm asking you all, what do you do in this situation? Okay. 12-second clip. What do you do in this situation?
Currently a group of ethnic people standing in the middle of the sidewalk, and everybody that's non-black or Hispanic are mad as fuck, and I'm loving it! Reparations! Reparations!
So they're just blocking, right? Films herself and friends blocking the sidewalk and demanding reparations, right? Where do they do that at? Right? Where do they do that? And when will it be enough? When will people say, okay, enough is enough? I'm just going to leave. We're going to leave you to the cities. You all can have the cities. They'll go and find small towns and build their own little enclaves away from all of the nonsense, and just let them have have the cities. You all can have them. The cities will be the places where they tell that we don't go, like where and what's the right? They're gonna essentially do this, right? Where is it? Images right here. It's like you must never go there, right? He's like, what's that shadowy place over there, right? Where he told Simba, you're like, you must never go there, Simba. Never. That's what's going to happen. The cities are going to be the place where people tell their child, you must never go there. Never. Right? Yeah. Just give it up. You must never go there, Simba. Don't go to the cities. All right? And people will be well within their right to tell their children to stay away from the city. I mean, my family, we don't even go to the inner city. Someone was telling us, "Oh, you should take your wife to a restaurant in the city." No, we like our spots away from the city. We like our date spot over in the cut where we're not going down there. No thanks. Yeah, like I know Chicago is one of them. Detroit was. I've heard things that Detroit is on the come up, so I won't say that, but I've heard that from a reliable source that lives there. So, but yeah, there's a lot of places that, yeah, like the south side of Chicago. I mean, yeah, this is, yeah. Well, I mean, let's see. Let's go back. Somebody said this. All right, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Let's listen. We'll listen again. Let's listen again.
Currently, a group of ethnic people standing in the middle of the sidewalk, and everybody that's non-black or Hispanic are mad as fuck, and I'm loving it! Reparations! Reparations! Currently.
So they're in the way, and they're said people, they're mad about it. They're blocking the sidewalk. I mean, that's what she said. She said that they're in the sidewalk and people are mad about it. Like they have to go around, right? They're not letting people pass. They're like, get out the way. I don't know. Here's what it is. Maybe you're thinking roadblock. Like, oh, no one can pass because the... Okay, anyway. But yes. But this is what we've got. Let's talk about this, because this is one of my favorite people to discuss on the channel. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. If you could like the video. All right. Probably be going for another 30 minutes. All right. Lighting fireworks on the subway in Chicago. Wow. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. All the best to you too, Coding Neko. Appreciate you. Thank you for helping the engagement. If you hadn't come in and started commenting, who knows? I appreciate you. You're helping me get more likes, subscriptions, and the like. Yes. Now, I've heard bad things about Chicago in the past, David. But I used to watch Anton Daniels' channel. Haven't watched it in a while, but he would say that, Detroit's on the comeback because of certain policies that are being enacted. And the downtown area is flourishing again. So I'll take him at his word. I don't really know. I don't know enough about the city to know. I wouldn't refute him who lives there. That's just me. But all right. So interesting details from the Atlantic's profile of Jasmine Crockett. Yes. Okay. Her phone's lock screen is a photo of herself. I guess. I mean, it is. Well, my phone's lock screen is my wife and my kids. I have I cycle through periodically. I'm like, Yes, appreciate you, David. Appreciate you. Yes. So, all right. So she thought she deserved to be the top dim on the oversight because she has the largest social media following. is that a good reason to give someone the top oversight? I don't know. I mean, you all tell me, what are the qualifications? Is it social media following? I mean, I guess in our society and the liberals, I don't really know. Number one, social media following. So that means I need to be the top dim on the oversight committee? Okay, you say so. And then she tried to shut down the profile after a reporter called a number of her colleagues in the House to get some background information. The full article, man. Now, allow ads, maybe I'll think about it, right? But this is she's being considered a top Democrat politician. I don't know how far she's going to go, but she's being considered for leadership, right? She's in the forefront. She gives speeches, and they ask her for comments and everything. And right, Trump has called her a low IQ individual, right? He's called her a buffoon. I mean, yeah. But she is touted as a Democrat for the Trump era. Right, because they want someone who can go back at Donald Trump with, coarse language and who better apparently than, a black woman. Because if Trump crosses the line and says something about her, then the base on the Democrat side will accuse him of racism. And that's the play. The play is accuse him of racism, because apparently that worked the last time. that worked the last time. Yeah. And again, Diva Berry, you're right. That is what she's, that's what she's best at, I guess. It's not really a endearing quality. It's not a leadership quality, but I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But she does a lot of talking, because she's being promoted as the next generation. Now, when it comes down to it, will she be able to handle herself on a debate stage? And will she be able to govern well? So that is what we really want to know about these future up and coming Democrats, because social media following, one-liners, and the like, where do we see that as the basis for building America and prosperity? I don't, because if that's all Trump is good at, if that's all he was good at, not, the art of the deal and the like. What's going on, everybody? Yes, what's happening, Roger Dodger? If that's what all Trump was good at, then no one would have voted for him. Agenda 47, he's putting it into action. Closing the border. What is it? The tariffs. Balancing out trade. We want him to do more. We'd like to see him cut more. I want some of them Doge cuts to actually happen. More of them. I'd like to see the deficit shrink. So are these what are Jasmine's policies? Do we have a Do we have a list of policies that we can review from Jasmine Crockett? That's the question. Yeah. That's the question. Where are Jasmine's policies? Let me see. Let's look for them. Okay, let's see. Well, Jasmine for U.S. All right, let's see. Voting rights, health care, workers' rights, reproductive justice, education, economy, criminal justice, immigration, equality and civil rights, environmental justice, restoring balance to the judiciary. Okay. So, voting rights. Who doesn't have the right to vote? When all eligible voters have access to the ballot box in a meaningful, okay. I don't think anybody, why is that special? I mean, they were asking me to critique, instead of critiquing her sound bites and one-liners, to actually go to the, find out what her policy positions are. I mean, generally on the left, you can guess what the policy positions are, because if they're a leftist front runner, they all have to agree with the progressive agenda, or they'll be ostracized. If they go against orthodoxy in any way, shape, or fashion, they're never going, they won't be platformed. Yeah. Right. So healthcare. Yes, we want, human right. Healthcare is a human right. No, it isn't. We disagree there. I don't believe that healthcare is a human right. Workers' rights. What does she mean by that? A livable wage. Get skills and go out onto the market and bid. Sell your services. I do it all the time. As a software engineer, I bid on contracts, either get them or don't. Show my work to other clients and possible clients, and they say yay or nay. I've been turned down. Right? So everybody should be paid a livable wage if they have skills that can earn a livable wage. I don't understand why that's a hard concept. I don't understand why that. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Cruel. Yes. Right? Yeah. I've been a software engineer for 25 years. Has paid all of my bills and helped me to raise my family. I know. That's why when you guys come in here, make insults, I have the skins on the wall. When you all insult me, it goes in one ear and out the other. Why am I going to worry about trolls on the internet? I turn down projects where people want to pay me 6 figures easy for a project. What are y'all talking about? Like, I don't worry about you all. I don't worry about you all. Come on, man. Oh, goodness. This is, yeah. I'm just like, what? You all can talk. You can yep all you want. Doesn't bother me at all. That's why I keep getting on here every day. Right? Because I find time in my schedule because I'm self-employed. So I get to work my own hours. When people tell me get a job, like, well, I'm self-employed. I work when I want to. Right? So y'all can come on and troll. Come on, because you come into my stream. You're here. I'm not on your stream. Yeah. Reproductive justice. Okay, she wants to off babies. Immigration, she wants any and everybody to come through. Yes, give the dreamers amnesty, 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 right? Criminal justice, what does that mean? They want to let violent offenders walk free. We know what the outcome of these policies are. We've been seeing this. As I'm actually teaching my sons how to code so I can keep business all in the family. So, right? Education. The strong education. Okay, what does that mean? Because America has been doing poorly in education for years. They keep throwing money. They keep throwing money at the problem instead of getting back to the root solution. Right? Equality and civil rights. What does that mean? Does everybody get the same outcome? Or do you mean equity? Civil rights? Once you say civil rights, you're saying, okay, you've already said healthcare is a right. Well, how is it if you have a right to someone else's labor and they don't have the ability to charge for it? That's called slavery. So you have to write this software because they have a right to software code. They have a right to their own app. Whether the rights stop. Environmental justice. Come on, guys. These are all the same talking points. I could have guessed all of these. This is Jasmine Crockett. Okay. Jasmine Crockett is, I believe everything that the progressives tell me to believe. And I'll change those when the wind blows to the next progressive thing. That's all, right? Oh, I don't have anything. Oh, man. As a classical Christian educator who's read multiple books on classical Christian education and the educational crisis in America, I have nothing to say. Oh, come on, man. See, when they say stuff like this, I'm like, do these people, they just like to spout crazy things. I've studied the educational downfall of America, which is one of the reasons why I homeschool my children. My wife and I homeschool. Because the metrics that show public school education, right? Where's the good soil? The Good Soil Report. You should check it out. Right? Life outlook. College and career. Right? Right? Public school, 53%. Under 53. Prep, Catholic, evangelical, homeschool, ACCS. I don't care anything about. Who cares about whether or not I don't care. Red states are worse than education. What does that have to do with me homeschooling? I live in a red state and I still homeschool. What does that have to do with anything? Right? What does that have to do with anything? And who's doing the judging? How are you judging whether or not education is successful? No, I don't. You got anything else? Yes, they are. Yes, the education system is failing. What's going on? (1900 to 1950), leading the world in access and innovation. 1950s to 70s, still a leader, but others catching up. 1980s to 2000s, concerns about decline. Bush and the No Child Left Behind, right? Yeah. Mixed performance. So how is it not failing? If it went from number one and now it's on the decline. How? 15 to 25 to 13. Number one, going from number one to where? Not one. Right, because of defunding, right? Right. Goodness. Oh. Okay, here we go. $1,900, $300 to $400, $800. Look at the numbers. We were number one in 1900, spending a quarter of what we spend today. Maybe obviously adjusted for inflation. We spend more, but we're getting less. How in any other enterprise, is that a good thing? To spend more to get less? Y'all happy about your grocery bill? Most people aren't. That they're spending more but getting less. Most people aren't happy about that. Most people wouldn't be happy to spend 4 times as much to be number 13 when you were number 1. Oh, goodness. My goodness. Ooh-wee. Right. Right. All right. Well, enough dealing with that. The trolls about education. Let's continue. I had 2 other things. Well, no. That's fine. We can actually leave it there. That's actually a good place to leave it. Yeah. Right. Now. Oh, it's failing. I said failing. Failing. If you were number 1 and you went to number 13 over time, you're failing. Yeah, right, whatever. All I had to do was just ask. It's right here. We talked all of that nonsense. And all I had to do was go in here and just look up the facts that disprove your point. You talk a lot and you said nothing. You said absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. If your position is easily debunked by just asking ChatGPT to give me the stats, and then we just look at the stats and the stats say that you're wrong, I don't understand why. But then all they do next, if I was debating you, I'd destroy you. It's like, okay. You see how easy this is? For an unanswerable argument, you need these three things. Yours, it was just easy to get rid of because you're lying and your statements were false. So if we came to terms, we could possibly have a discussion. But you came in talking nonsense, and it was just easy. Oh, just go to ChatGPT and show him that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, okay, just do that. It's light work. Yeah, it's light work. It's light work. He doesn't even realize that homeschoolers are getting better outcomes, and it's just moms without education degrees. Why can't these teachers do the same? Because on the face of it, public education is failing. It has nothing to do with funding, because we spend an exorbitant amount of money on education. And then the same people, here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. If the system is failing, you're pulling teachers from that system. And the best and brightest aren't becoming teachers. So, my wife and my children read Latin. They are proficient in at least 2 instruments, all of them. Some of them 2, 3, or 4, right? Yeah, because teachers aren't paid enough. What's gonna make them better? Paying them more money gonna make them better teachers? Okay. And again, homeschooling moms outdoing public in almost every metric. Almost every metric. Independent thinkers. Here, do y'all want to go? You can go check out the report. I don't know. I mean, it just, yeah. Why would the best and brightest? Why? So we want the best and brightest instead of them being astrophysicists and chemists and software engineers and building our bridges. What do we want them doing? We want the best and brightest actually doing the thing. That's one of the reasons why the apprenticeship model is better than the college model, because you can actually teach someone how to do things. College is high on theory, low on praxis. my wife and I teach our children history, math, science. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do those things. My wife speaks multiple languages. She is one of the most intelligent people I know. She didn't need an education degree to be able to teach our children. And teachers being paid because, and here's the crazy thing. I know so many teachers that say most of their job is just administration. They rarely get to teach in the classroom anymore. So why would you pay them more if they're not actually performing the function? Any other enterprise that fails this miserably or fails this spectacularly would have been launched. Any other business that was failing like this, a school. Oh, your children can't read. Oh, well, we should probably close the school. No, we can't do that. Why? Why not? Or why not allow school choice? Nah, y'all want to throw more money at it and blame Republicans. It's the Republicans' fault. Let me see something. How many years? It's been the past 16 years. How many years has it been blue versus red? Right? I don't care how much teachers get paid. If they can negotiate higher salaries, go for it. You're worth what you can negotiate. Negotiate higher salaries. Negotiate higher salaries. That's what I do. When I want more money, I negotiate more money. It's a pretty simple process. Right. Thank you. He said it right. He said should get paid just for having to babysit bad kids for multiple hours while parents working, because we all know that's 85% of the school's importance. Right. Essentially, that's what it is. Because I talk to parents and they all excited for their children to go back to school. And it's essentially a one big babysitting service at this point. Right. Let them compete on the marketplace. Let public schools compete on the marketplace with other educational entities. Well, I get it. Yeah, because that you need that babysitting, because it takes two, right? Two incomes to live the American dream. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You might be right. We might be cooked. Like, that's what they say, let them cook, right? That's what they do. The kids do these days. Yeah. Oh, prices are going up like crazy. Yeah, and that's why two people have to work, right? To afford all of the amenities that, yeah. 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 Yes. Man, good guess, man. Good guess. Yes. Good guess. I am a Christian. Thanks for noticing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. So. All right. Yes. All right. See, I have no idea about anything. That's the prevailing idea. That's the prevailing sentiment of the chat. I know nothing about nothing. Oh, goodness. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So I have multiple enterprises that make me money. Yeah. Multiple enterprises that make me money. So this is one of them. And you all are helping. Yes. I know. Look at that. There you go. See? Come on, guys. Bring it on. Listen, because I just want to remind y'all, as usual.
You have no power here.
That's right. Guys, go for it. You can call me all kind of names. You can say all kinds of stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Very well. Right? I sleep well every night. You got to get my magnesium, right? Right? What does being a Christian mean to you? Ooh, that's a very, very interesting question. How much time you got? No, I'm joking. Shouldn't be that long of a Christian. Long of a question, right? Hold on one second, y'all. And so I really don't, when someone asks me what does something mean to me, especially something like Christianity, I'm not really, I don't theological questions when people ask, oh, what does the Bible mean to you? Or what does this mean to you? Yeah. Because ultimately it doesn't really matter what it means to me. Because I'm not the one that sets the parameters for what a Christian is. That's the Bible's job to tell me what it means to be a Christian. And there are three things that the Bible describes make a Christian, right? What you believe. So there are certain core tenets of what we're supposed to believe, and there are certain things we cannot believe and claim Christianity, right? So that's an internal thing, obviously. What you confess, right? Because I'm going straight from Romans 10:9, right? What you confess, because there's some very clear statements. There's certain parts of the Bible that are perspicuous, and there are others that we have to do the job of, we have to do more work to interpret, right? And so the interpretation method that I believe the disciples and the apostles use is the caged method, which is what I tried to, it's an acronym that I came up with that helps me to stay within the bounds of how the apostles and prophets interpreted God's word. And context, audience, genre, explanatory, or didactic. And it's those 5 things that I always go to the text and try to figure out, okay, what's the context? Who was the audience? How would they have understood this passage? And then from what can I glean from this passage that can help me practically to walk out the Christian faith? But I don't go to the Bible thinking, oh, this is all for me. This is all about me. This is what, no, I'm like, okay, how did the first century hearers understand Jesus's words and Paul's words and Peter's words and John's words and James's words? And it's one of the reasons why I've memorized, I think I'm in the middle of memorizing James, the book of James, but I've memorized Jonah, Romans, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, and Jude. So those are the ones that, the books of the Bible that I've memorized, and I've memorized a lot of other scripture as well. And so understanding all of that helps me to see how the apostles and prophets interpreted the scriptures. And I try to do the same thing that they did. And so what I believe, what I confess, that Jesus is Lord to the glory of God the Father, and then how I walk. So there's a, James talks about, you'll show us your faith by your works. Other people can't know that I'm a Christian. If I say I'm a Christian and I'm committing adultery on my wife and I will not repent, well, I'm not a Christian, most likely. That's what the Bible says, right? So I believe that Christ is Lord. I confess him as Lord. And then I walk in such a way that exemplifies his lordship over me, right? And so those are the three things that I would say. What it means is what you believe, what you're willing to confess, because the Bible says that if you are not willing to confess him, or you're ashamed of him or his words in this adulterous and sinful generation. He was talking to the first century, but I believe that the principle applies even to us who are Christians. If we are afraid to name him or stand on the things that he says, his word. So, yeah. So, right. He said, I follow Christian doctrine, not the Bible. Okay, sir. Distinction without a difference. All right. So, yeah. He said, if I met those people, I would be very impressed with their faithfulness. These people walked with the Lord. They got a chance to walk with the God man. I'd be very impressed. I would love to meet them and talk to them about what it was like to walk with Christ and how he was able to inspire them to write these books, even though they were uneducated fishermen and the like, even though Paul, very, very well educated man, most likely smarter than everybody on this live. And yeah, Luke also physician. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Right. Yeah. I don't know where we say that. Okay. That's an interesting accusation. Cool. Yep. Yeah. No, you didn't give a distinction. Christian doctrine comes from the Bible. You think you gave a distinction, but you're not as smart as you think you are. Yeah. Yep. Right. All right. Well. Yeah. Right. So. All right. Appreciate you, Marina Bowers. Appreciate you. Yeah. I just wanted to answer that question because, some people ask. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Right. Let's see. Yep. Because I'm always studying different theological topics because I don't believe that my theology is ever going to be set in stone. Right? There's certain things that I'm hard and fast on, and I know that the Bible teaches that. But there are certain areas of theology, the depth of it, I'd like to understand better. And so I'm actually right now studying. I have a book list that I'm purchasing on a specific theological topic that I want to study. And I'm always studying theology. That's most of these books back here are theological books. Yeah. Yeah. No, you didn't give a distinction. You said, I follow Christian doctrine, not the Bible. The Bible is the source of Christian doctrine. You think you gave a distinction. You didn't. Yeah. Yep. So. But. Yeah, because if it's Christian doctrine that doesn't come from the Bible, then it's not Christian. Right. I don't know. Yeah, this is more just a random Q&A. Yeah. What's the distinction? What distinction? What are you talking about? This is the problem with your argument. That's the problem with your argument right there. You change terms in the middle of it. The Bible mentions that people worship false gods. It does not negate the fact that there is only one living and true God. There are many false gods, yes. That's what I'm saying. You guys think you're very intelligent, but you're not as smart as you think you are. I immediately recognized that your argument is fallacious. Guys, I taught advanced logic and debate and rhetoric. You guys aren't impressive. You're not impressive. Your arguments aren't impressive. Christians have dealt with these to be a piss poor arguments that you present in my comments as though they're slam dunks. Christians have dealt with these arguments for generations. I don't know what backwoods people you've been arguing with, but this is not a good argument. You switched the definition of terms midstream. It's unbelievable that this happens, and it's still being thought. Like 12 years ago, I started doing Christian apologetics, and people were making these same arguments, and I answered them the same way. It's on autopilot now. You're not impressive. I know. You think you are. You think that all Christians are dumb. Okay, fine. But it doesn't take much to debunk your arguments. Didn't we all say that? Yes, I said there are false gods that other tribes worshiped in the Bible. Yes. Elijah talks about it. The prophets of Baal, Moloch. It really is tiresome dealing with people like this. But, okay, Deuteronomy 4:28-31 through 31. And there you will serve gods of woods and stone, the work of man's hands, that neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Let me actually just go through right. This is how he describes the other gods. Neither see, nor eat, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. They're made of wood. And he's talking to them. Yahweh's talking to them. These gods don't do that. They're made of wood. They're nothing. Isaiah even mentions the fact of how foolish it is for you to make a god out of carved wood, use that same wood to roast your food, and then bow down to the. That's in Isaiah and Jeremiah. I mean, goodness, this is like Bible 101. And he thinks this is some kind of gotcha. Wow. I know. Kevin, it's insane. And they think these are like gotchas. Like this is actually not hard at all. Wow. And there's debate about it, scholarly debate about it. We know that the J didn't exist, right? Just like Jesus, there's no J, but it's a transliteration of the iota from the Greek, Jesus, Yeshua. I mean, we actually, in English, Petros coming over from, turned into Peter, Paulos from the Greek, turned into Paul, right? Transliterations happen. I know a lot of people like to make that some sort of gotcha argument. The J, how you going to call on the name of Jesus when the name of the J wasn't invented until it was like, y'all really, wow. Transliteration much? I don't know. But yeah, what's going on, Brother Derek? Yeah, it's late night. I'm about to go to bed. Yeah. I don't know, man. But it's really not. This is really not. It's light work most of the time. Yeah. So, right. And see, this is their, right. This is their morality on display, right? Objectively a bad person, right? I mean, we could say if you voted for Kamala over Biden, you're objectively a bad person. But then whose morality? By what standard? By your standard? Oh, nobody cares about your standard. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah. Anyway. All right, everybody. Yeah. I'm going to head out. Yes. I know. That's it right there. That's the prayer right there, Kevin. Pray the Lord will open their eyes and hearts to see and receive. There you go. Yes. Constantly pray for that at churches, right? But, well, when we attend church, we pray for people to receive the gift. Yes. Yes. So, all right, everybody. And that's going to be it for tonight. I wanted to get through the rest of my rundown. I had a whole lot of stuff. I'm not trying to block nobody. Yeah. So, I had to get through the rest of my rundown. I didn't want to leave it undone. I hate when I leave a rundown undone for the most part, because there's so much interesting stuff in the list. And I still didn't get through all of it. I might just have to put some of it in tomorrow's show. So, yeah. Anyway, until next time, thank you to everybody that liked, commented, subscribed, supported. All the information in the description. I'll put it in here too. If you want to join the channel, it's $1. Just $1 to support the work. If you want to do Cash App, I put all my Cash App donations into Bitcoin. So if you want to help my Bitcoin portfolio to continue to grow, you can do that, right? I got all this stuff, right? If you want to find me on socials, you know what you can do. You can look in the description of the video, right? So if you want to continue the trolling on another platform, not that you would be able to, because if you troll, I don't really accept messages from randoms, but you know, Until next time, be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. And be ready. Tomorrow is going to be a more energetic live, right? This is a laid back, relaxed. When y'all see the no bow tie, that's what Derek was talking about. When y'all see no bow tie, that means it's going to be relaxed. It's a relaxed stream, right? See y'all around. Bye.